Welcome back, I'm George, and in this video I'm going to show you the first things you need to do on your Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, I believe this phone gives you about 70% functionality out of the box, but if you want to get that other 30%, you need to dig a little deeper. So everything said, let's begin with the first thing that I always do when I get a new Samsung phone, which is to come to the settings, then swipe all the way down to About Phone, and then tap right here on Rename, because yes, you can name your phone anything you want. As you can see, by default, it is going to say your name and S25 Ultra, but you can name it, as I said, anything you want. You can name it Potato. Although be careful, because this is the name that will show up when you try to connect to other devices. So don't do something silly. Now after this, and also here on the settings, you will probably want to make your phone be as fast as possible. So scroll all the way down to Device Care. As you can see here, it says great, but if it's not great, it will give you the option to clean up the phone so it works a little faster. So come back here every once in a while. And then, very big deal, below here on Device Care, you'll find the option to choose in Performance Profile between Light and Standard. As you can see, Light is the one that comes turned on by default, and it's actually going to prioritize battery life over performance. And considering that this phone has incredibly good battery life, I don't think that's the best option. I always switch the phone to Standard, which is basically going to give you better performance, maintaining most of the battery life. And considering that you've paid a lot of money for the fastest phone in the market, you want to get all of that performance when you use the phone. Now, also here on the settings, there's actually another way to make the phone feel and be faster. If you scroll all the way down, once again, in this case to About Phone, then you tap on Software Information, and then you tap 9 times, I think it's 9 or 10, on Build Number. There it is. In my case, it says that the developer mode has already been turned on, but in your case, it will say developer mode has now been turned on. So you will get here on the main settings page a new tab here all the way at the bottom called Developer Options. And as you can see, there's plenty options to choose from, but if you keep scrolling down, you'll eventually find options for, here they are, Window Animation Scale, Transition Animation Scale, and Animation Duration Scale. This basically controls the animation speeds of everything you do on your phone. And if you tap on them, you have the option to reduce the speed of those animations in half by tapping on 0.5. So everything will effectively be double the speed. Swiping, coming back home, opening folders and closing them, navigating around the phone, everything is going to be double the speed. And considering that this phone has insane performance, it won't actually have any cost in terms of fluidity and stability. But anyways, we have now made the phone feel faster. It is time to make the fingerprint unlocking to also be faster. And don't ask me how, but there is a way, a trick, so to say, to make it noticeably faster on Samsung phones. So if you come down here to Security and Privacy, and then tap on Screen Lock and Biometrics. After introducing your password for security reasons, you will be able to set up your fingerprint unlocking mechanism, which of course you've probably done already. Now, I'm actually going to ask you to remove the fingerprint you have set up on your phone, because as I said, there is a trick when you set it up to make it be faster. So what you want to do is you want to tap on Add Fingerprint, then tap on Continue, and you want to register 2 fingers at the same time. Any of your fingers, ideally the ones you want to use to unlock the phone. So in my case, I'm going to use my 2 thumbs. So 1 for each, there it is. And once it's complete, you want to tap on Done, and you want to do the same thing again. So the same 2 fingers you used for the same run. Now, as I said, I'm not really sure why this makes unlocking the phone faster, but it is noticeably faster. You barely have to lift your finger on the sensor. It is like noticeably faster than with the traditional way. But anyways, that said, I believe another crucial part in customizing your new S25 Ultra is to choose the right accessories for the phone. these right here are what I believe to be the best cases you can buy for the S25 Ultra. This one right here is this Beacon Light case with MagSafe compatibility, which, like the name suggests, as you can see, allows you to connect the phone and the case to every MagSafe accessory available on the planet. So it basically gives you a whole new way to charge the phone. It has really good construction quality, it feels solid and durable, and it is only 20 bucks. The second one here is made by Samsung. It is the official silicone case for the S25 Ultra, and there's nothing really special about it. I mean, it's very well built. It has a metal ring around the cameras. It feels very solid, very premium, nice texture in your hand. The reason I chose it as one of my favorite cases for the phone is because generally with first-party cases, you get a much better fit, meaning dust is not going to get inside of the phone because it's tailored made with millimeter precision for the device. And also because, once again, it is only 20 bucks. So yeah, the Samsung one, the Spigen one are my favorites for the phone. I left links down below in the description. But anyways, that being said, it is now time to customize the lock screen on your S25 Ultra. So let's tap and hold, tap on wallpaper and style, and then click on the lock screen icon right here. As you can see, if we tap on the time right here, we can choose to make it smaller or bigger. We can move it to the left or to the right. We can even, if we swipe from the bottom, change the font of the time. And we can, only with, to be fair, this one right here, change the girth or thickness of the time. As you can see here at the bottom, we can choose between different default colors for the time. And we can even open every color on the color spectrum and choose that color, shape, its intensity, opacity, everything. There's a lot of customization here. Now, as you can see below the time, we also have the option to include some widgets. In my case, I have the weather and the battery widget, but you can choose between all of these ones right here. So you could theoretically include your digital well-being, you could include your photos on your gallery, you could include the Samsung Health widget, and of course, one of my favorite customization features, you can change the quick toggles right here at the bottom. So by default, we have the flashlight and the camera, but we can switch to, any other quick toggle we want, or any other app we have installed on the phone. So we could even use Subway Surfers as a quick toggle for some reason. Now back here on the home screen, if you tap and hold again, and then you go to Wallpaper and Style, then tap on Change Wallpaper, and then you tap on Generative right here, you can actually create a custom tailored made for you wallpaper for your phone made with AI. So as you can see, you have some default presets right here: night, painting, mineral, translucent, terrain. But you can actually shape all of these to look exactly how you like them. So let's tap on terrain. And as you can see, by default, we get surreal beach in shades of silver. But we can change surreal to be a realistic. We can change beach to be a lake. We can change silver to be any color we want. So let's tap on gray. No, maybe something a little bit more colorful. Let's tap on vibrant right here. And then you just have to tap on generate. Let's go. And in a couple seconds, it is actually pretty fast. It is going to give you, I think, 4 different wallpapers to choose from with the prompt you selected. So as you can see, we get some 4 realistic Salt Lake wallpapers in shade of vibrant. And then you can choose all of them or one of them to be your wallpaper for your home screen or lock screen or both. Now, of course, this is a Samsung phone, so beyond the wallpaper, there is a lot of customization you can do. Of course, you probably know the basics. You can add icons anywhere you want. You can add folders and widgets. But this year with One UI 7, Samsung has given us a lot more options. So first of all, now on the S25 Ultra, you can actually tap and hold on widgets to reshape them as you please. So you can make them taller and wider. You can just make it be as big or small as you want. You can, of course, using any size you want, tap and hold on the widget to create a stack, meaning you can stack multiple widgets together. Let's add a random one right here so you can see. And now we have 2 widgets in the same place, making your home screen a lot more efficient. On top of this, you can also tap and hold on folders to enlarge those folders, making them 4 times bigger, but also interactable, so you can enter apps without having to get into the folder, making the experience a lot faster. And if you tap and hold on your home screen and then tap on settings, you can choose the home screen grid and the app screen grid, meaning, as you can see, you have a default set of apps that fit horizontally and vertically, but you can change it. In this case, by default, you get 4x6, but you can fit more by tapping on 5x6. As I said, you have the same option both for the home screen grid and for the app screen grid, so you can do the same thing here. But anyways, that said, and before I forget, you should probably come here to the settings, to the main settings page, and then tap on your account to then enable right here all of your Galaxy AI features. Because believe it or not, all of these AI features are included and free with your S25 Ultra, but for some reason, not all come turned on by default. So you should probably go one by one, making sure that the features are enabled on the phone so you can make use of all of these new functionalities. Because as I said, that's one of the main reasons you pay so much money for this phone. They work incredibly well. So the least thing you should do is to make sure that everything, there it is turned on so you can use it. Now, everything said, I believe one of the biggest concerns when people get a new phone is that they want to get the best battery life possible. So let's scroll down here to display and then tap on motion smoothness. As you can see, by default, the adaptive option is turned on, which lets the phone go up to 120 Hertz, which is basically a high refresh rate. It is going to make your phone feel a little bit smoother. The problem here is that a lot of people don't really notice the difference between adaptive and standard. So if you don't, you should probably stick to standard, which is 60 Hertz, and get a much better battery life at no additional cost, since you don't notice. But anyways, now that we are here on the display section, let's talk about some of the display customization you can do to get a much better experience. So first off, as you can see, you can choose between light and dark, which is going to turn every light surface into black or dark gray, making it both more comfortable for your eyes and more battery efficient. So this is another way you can get better battery life. Of course, you can also choose between manual brightness and auto brightness, and there is this very handy option called extra brightness, which will basically unleash all of the brightness that the phone has physically for those times when you're using the phone in the summer at broad daylight and you can't really read what's on the display. Now, a little bit below, you'll find the option to choose between 2 screen modes, being vivid, the more traditional Samsung style 2 display colors, and natural, a new mode that kind of mimics the iPhone style 2 display colors. Ideally, you want to try both and see what you like better because there is no right answer. Vivid is good for some people, natural is good for other people. They're both great. Now, something that you should definitely know is that by default, here on screen resolution, you don't really get the full resolution that's capable on the S25 Ultra. The default is 1080p when you can go up to 1440p. So if you are a power user and you notice those little details like extra sharpness, then you can turn it up to 1440p and get a much sharper display. Of course, another feature you should enable here on the display settings is the edge panels right here. As you can see, it is basically a tab that shows up from the edge of the phone, and that gives you additional functionality, like your recent apps and some Samsung features embedded on the edge panel, like AI Select, which is a topic for another video. And well, of course, also here on the display settings, you have the option, if you tap on navigation bar, to switch from the traditional buttons at the bottom of the phone to go back, to go home, and to access the multitasking for the modern swipe gestures you get on pretty much every phone nowadays, where you swipe to go home, you swipe and hold to access the multitasking, and you swipe from the left like this to go back. Now, moving on, back once again here on the main settings page, one of the most useful customization features that I can give you for the S25 Ultra is the option to customize the side button here on the right, or the side key, as Samsung calls it. So if you swipe all the way to the bottom until you see advanced features right here, and then you tap on side button, you actually have the option to customize a double press, meaning pressing twice on the button, and a long press. So let's actually begin by tapping here on double press. As you can see, by default, I have it set to toggle the flashlight, which I believe to be the most useful out of all the options, but you can also open the camera, launch the wallet, voice recorder, Samsung Notes, or every app that you have on your phone is an option. So if you tap on YouTube, there it is, and then you double tap, you actually open YouTube. It's pretty amazing. And well, just as a little customization tip, if you tap on the settings wheel, for example, on the camera, you can choose what part of the app you open. So of course you can open the camera in its default setting, but you can also open the camera to record a video, to take a portrait, or take a selfie. So if you select selfie and double press, the camera will open automatically on the selfie setting. And well, as I said earlier, you can also set up a long press, which by default, it will open the Google Assistant. In this case, I think it is Gemini. Yes, it's Gemini. But you can also make it open Bixby, which is the inferior Samsung Assistant. And you can also tap on Power Off menu. So if you tap and hold, you'll see the Power Off menu. Although I don't recommend you use this option, because if you tap on the power button and the volume down button at the same time, you will also trickle the power down menu. So this would be kind of redundant. So ideally, Gemini or Bixby. Now, everything said, and you've probably already noticed, the S25 Ultra is a very fast and responsive phone. This, of course, is just my opinion, but I think it's one of the best user experiences that I've ever had with a phone in my life. Now, ideally, you want this to be the case for a long, long time. And that will only be the case if you take proper care of the phone. So if you tap on the settings and come all the way down here to device care, you will find an option right here at the bottom called auto optimization, which is basically going to optimize the phone every once in a while so it doesn't get cluttered and it works seamlessly and smoothly for a very, very long time. Now, if you tap right here at the bottom on auto restart, you can choose for the feature to enable when needed, which means that the phone is all of a sudden going to restart itself, even if you're doing something. So I don't recommend you turn this on. And you have the option to restart on schedule. So you can choose the day of the week and the time for that restart. So you can choose a Wednesday at 5 a.m. so it never catches you using the phone because you're probably going to be sleeping. But anyways, back here once again on the main settings page, it is time to get a better battery life and a better battery health. So let's tap on battery and start right here at the top with power saving. So as you can see, we have a bunch of options to reduce the battery consumption on the phone, like limiting the CPU or decreasing the brightness. And the cool thing is that we can actually choose which of these features to turn on and which to turn off, so it is not as annoying. But anyways, as I said, on top of saving battery life, you also have options to protect your physical battery. So if you tap here on battery protection and turn the feature on, you basically have 3 levels of protection for your battery, going from basic, which is not going to have any impact on your user experience, all the way to maximum, which will have a very big impact on your user experience because it will actually limit the capacity of your battery to 80% in aim to keep it healthier for a longer time. Thankfully, now with One UI 7, you can actually choose the percentage, so you can make it charge up to 90% or 95%, making it less annoying, but it is still, in my opinion, a little overkill. I think using the basic protection and not doing anything stupid, you'll get a very healthy battery for a long, long time. But anyways, that said, I believe that one of the main reasons why people buy the S25 Ultra is because it has some of the best cameras on any phone at the moment. And although they are very, very good by default, In classic Samsung fashion, you can of course make them a little bit better with some customization. So the first thing you need to do to make your cameras be better is to come to the official Samsung store, which I believe is right here. Tap on the search button here at the top right, and then type Camera Assistant. This is an official Samsung app, part of the Good Luck Labs, that is basically going to give you a lot more settings to customize your cameras. As you can see, the app is already installed on my device, but you'll probably see an icon like this. All you have to do is tap on the icon and wait for Camera Assistant to download. After that, you want to come to the camera, then tap on the 4 dots right here and enter the settings, and scroll down until you see a new tab called Camera Assistant. And well, as I said earlier, these are basically some additional camera settings. Most of them are not going to directly affect the camera quality, but one of them actually does affect the end image quality. It is this one right here, prioritize focus over speed. This feature, for some reason, will actually be turned off by default, meaning that the phone is going to prioritize speed over focus. You are going to take faster pictures, but the pictures are not going to be as high quality. Now, if you come back here to the main camera settings, you'll also find some very interesting options to make your images look better, get a better image quality. So first off, if you tap here on Advanced Picture Options, you have the option to switch from the traditional JPEG format to a RAW format, which is going to give you a lot more detail and a lot better quality for your images, albeit with a much bigger file size, so be careful. And a little bit below here on Advanced Video Options, you'll have the option to do basically the same but for video. So you can switch the compression format to get a slightly higher quality, or if you still want high efficiency videos, you can tap on high bitrate videos to once again get a little bit better quality. But anyways, I believe that is already a lot of customization for your S25 Ultra. If you want to see a video with a more in-depth look at the new features on the phone, like the new AI features, the new settings, please tell me in the comments. And well, that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If that's the case, give it a like. And I see you again in any of my previous or future videos. Peace.